Okay, so we should be live again. Let me just always want to check on my phone. Okay, yeah, no, we're live hella quick. Okay, so today's video and today's, I guess, live stream, right? These are all live. Let's not get it twisted. But this one, we're going to be dancing around a couple different topics. And of course, all I'm trying to do is provide value through perspective to you. And as far as the next 6 videos, or the next 6 VODs, so it will be 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4, 2, 5, I think will be the days that these are all uploaded on. And these videos, I think, are the most valuable of the collection. So as far as the first 30 to 40 minutes of these videos being some type of value you can collect from it, and the rest of it just being my kind of day-to-day as I'm just kind of making this mixtape, which I made a song today in the last VOD, which I'm very happy with, honestly. I'm just trying to get the mix right, the levels of it right. And I think the version I just rendered is the perfect one, but I keep fucking noticing the volumes. Like, I don't know, there's just like tiny adjustments to the volume that I'm trying to find one that I think is perfect. But as far as having a breakthrough, because I kind of had like 2 days off from, or I guess like 1.5 days technically, of not making anything song-wise. And I'm glad I was able to break through. But the title of this one is The 222 Devil's Advocates. And this is a film. And the film is, of course, where we'll start. But it has Keanu Reeves in it. It's a banger. Came out in 1997, October 17th. And the concept of the film is actually about lawyers. And that's where we're going to dance on the topic here as far as the film's satanic symbolism. And then we're going to talk about lawyers a little bit. And I think all of this, though, as far as just being helpful takes to you and helpful things to you and your growth, is really important to, I think, understand the truth of both of those things, because of course those are both big things as far as the industry goes, this satanic symbolism side of it, and then as far as lawyers go, really, at the end of the day, you know, the law is the law. And as far as that type of side of things go, is important to do your best to understand. Now, I think what you'll realize, though, is that these people have the job and get paid the big amounts of money for their time for a reason. And as far as what you do, you get paid for your time and what you do. And, you know, they could never imagine writing a song, and it is what it is, right? They play their role and they understand their role and they love their role. And it's not something that you should think that you're ever above what the law is, because a collection of really intelligent lawyers can destroy you and destroy your time and destroy really your life in a way. Well, not like unless you do something wrong, but as far as the way you operate is with the presumption that you can be as free as possible for as long as possible. And as far as stepping on people's toes is what you will do. And that is something that teams of lawyers will be paid to put roadblocks in front of you. And roadblocks, not Roblox, roadblocks, all right? Don't get it twisted, are things that you have to overcome. And, lawyers are the best at putting roadblocks in front of you as far as abusing the law and just trying to waste your time. And I guess as far as the plot of the movie goes, this is a huge fucking Wikipedia article, just to give you my kind of recollection of the film, so you kind of have an understanding though. But there's Kevin Lomax he's a defense attorney who has never lost a case. And I guess he's like some type of rising star within the film. And what we'll do is, honestly, we'll go full face cam while we're kind of talking directly. Actually, yeah, because, I kind of want the opportunity to have a fucking thumbnail that is full face cam on this one. But Kevin's a rising star or in the world. And I guess he gets the opportunity to go to New York. And he's there to do some type of job there for this specific case. And as far as him getting the experience of what top lawyer farms are like is what he gets introduced to. And he gets, some type of weird vibe to the settings of these things, right? And I guess this is where like a bunch of satanic symbolism comes into the movie, where the person that he ends up working for is the devil. And like the character is the devil, right? Like that's what he finds out. And he realizes that he made a deal to defend this guy in this case, and the deal is to sell his soul, or I guess risk his soul, or kind of give up his soul, right? In doing so, taking the case. And I guess as far as that being something that kind of affects his family and being something that affects the people closest to him is what happens in the film. And really that kind of, let me scroll in the, that kind of trade he makes is something that throughout the film he like faces, I guess, the realization of and the consequences of, taking the job, right? Taking the deal with the devil. And I think that's where, we get into the story here, right? And honestly, I'm just reading on the Wikipedia. Actually, that's a pretty good word right here. But Kevin blames Milton for everything that happened, but Milton points out he merely set the stage. It was Kevin who chose to neglect his wife and defend the people who he knew were guilty. Kevin realizes that he always wanted to win, regardless of the cost. And as far as the reality goes of this game, of what you're playing, there is no deal with the devil that is happening as far as the film goes, right? And the reality of God and the devil, these two different things, are within you. And the last VOD, I kind of introduced you to a perspective. And I guess as far as another perspective by the same guy, I will play, honestly, a little bit here and kind of give you some type of, and again, these are just introductions to a perspective, and I have no intention of debating with anybody. I have no intention of sitting here and having any kind of discussion, right? Like these are for you, and I know these are valuable perspectives for you to understand. And so here we go. Devils, Demons, and Dummies. This is 24K views, uploaded 8 years ago, but it's a much older video than that. And we'll just play for a minute or so of this.
A dogma of the church. There's no other religion that is so superstitious, and many of them are superstitious, but there is no other religion that is that superstitious that actually made some quasi-hero out of a non-existent thing. We've made up the existence of a person. And actually we have people now that have satanic, they go out into the woods and they pray to Satan and all that. And what they're actually doing is they're admiring the negative part of themselves. Because if you want to say, what is Satan, what is the devil? It's the negative part of ourselves. What actually is being addressed, and just think about this and think about it carefully. A mysterious force, electromagnetic force, call it that if you want. Anything that scientifically occurred yet could not be explained and was not in the Bible was made by Christianity to appear as of diabolical origin. We can't explain it. It's not in the Bible. It must be the devil.
So the reason why I bring this up is because the truth in the fact that these are ideas created, right? And as far as God being something that you should realize is within you, like the only thing to life, right, is your perspective. And as far as the people that wrote these books and wrote these ideas, and they are, again, and I mentioned this before, but they are not recounts of history. They're writing myths to kind of use in context to explain ideas of enlightenment and in spiritual growth, really. And what these things mean are something that you have to figure out for yourself in some instances. But as far as there being perspectives that are, and again, I'll have some more perspectives that are really simple to understand, and that will help you in your spiritual journey. And it'll be in a VOD in a couple of days, but you're watching in the future. The VOD's already out, but the VOD is like Kyler Simzer, King 222 Kings, and that VOD, I'll kind of discuss it a little bit more. But as far as your path goes and your story, your creation, what you manifest is up to you, the way you play the symbolism. And you don't have to just pick a side and ride with that side forever. And as far as the populace goes, and just regular people, they will take it as you're playing a side. And leaning into the side is another topic that we're going to talk about in a couple days, but it's in a way, you're a live action role player. And again, this is I guess something that I assume you've watched, the live action role play discussion, and now you're here. So you're a live action role player. You have to understand you can pick which one to live action role play to. And I think in my case, I'm neither, right? Like, I'm on the side that you guys need to wake the fuck up, right? Like, as far as the audience goes, these constructs that they believe in are selling them something, right? They're monetizing off them. And when people who go through the words of the Bible and just share the history of it and the words in it over and over and over and over again, that's their life, right? That, and again, they put on some type of experience with it as well, right? A huge megachurch, for example. That, to me, is, in a way, kind of taking time out of the audience's day to, in a way, the audience usually takes something positive out of some type of preacher saying something, right? I'm not against these things, but I think I'm against the idea that these things and these people that speak on these things are any more connected with God than you or I. And I think I'm more connected to God than anybody. If anybody was more connected with God, then where's your frequency? What frequency have you made? What frequency has God given you? And as far as that being the ultimate reality of my life, is that God gifts you in certain ways. And as far as me sitting on the frequency that I'm sitting on, that I love, and I think is like, I could listen to it all day. I could listen to what I have for a very long time, loop on repeat. And the more I get is, in a way, gifts from God. And as far as some preacher that is merely doing exactly what I'm doing on these live streams with movies, right? They're reading a little section of the Bible and then making up some story and then performing it in a live action setting to you. And I could do this all day long. I could do this. I could do this every hour, 24/7, preach. But like, I realize how this can, in a way, not help anybody, right? Like, it is something that just takes time away from people, that if they knew that the God in the God they seek is within them, and that they need to meditate on their ideas, and they need to, like, and again, I'm just going to use Zoomer terms, but they need to lock the fuck in, right? Like, they don't just go to these buildings and go to these performances and walk away with what they truly do seek. And as far as the story of, again, Jesus goes, I'm living it, bro. I'm fucking in the phase of it live, as far as going to the burning bush, right? like, that's, in a way, what happens when I stop talking to you, is I talk to myself, I talk to God, and I come up with all of this. So that, and again, the music, you don't hear the music all the time that I make, but as far as the music being what I think will make all of these VODs come around, right, and become valuable in the future, is the truth. People will connect with the music, and they'll be like, where did bro even make this? How did bro make this? Oh, he did it live and was able to explain to you the reality of not, well, the reality of how you can do it too, how anybody can do it, and how these things take a lot of time. They take suffering. It takes dedication to it. But as far as me walking away with really what I feel is really powerful gifts from God for a reason, is what it feels like to me. And as far as the devil's advocate goes, or the 222 devil's advocate, and the title of this VOD, I think you, whoever you are, and I know there's somebody out there, I think you need to realize, as far as symbolism goes, in your art, in your speech, in your words, in what got you your gifts, in what got you your manifestation, really, in the words you use when you're talking it. Like, are you going to thank God, or are you going to thank the demon inside you, or the devil inside you, whatever you think it is, right? But I think as far as there being some type of truth to what he said about the devil, if God is in you, then what is the opposite of God in you? Or let's just say the God in you is you acting in good faith, right? It's your actions are good, and you think they're good, so you think you're acting in God. If the devil is in you every time you're acting as something bad, then are you making your best creation? Or are you making an image to live action role play, to some type of lower being, some type of lower kind of audience that vibrates in a way that really, they're vibrating on a lower level of consciousness, really, because they constantly are reminding themselves of the negative aspects of not just everybody else's reality, but their own reality, and doing nothing to improve the lives of others at times, or even the lives of their own existence. And I think you have a choice. I think it's really, and to be honest, more profitable, more advantageous, more more profitable, more advantageous, easier, and a lot more. There's just a lot more people that exist with no spiritual connection and seek to increase their vibrations, right? And increase their outputs, and really increase, in a way, the frequency that they operate on. And I think as far as over time, and it's true to the sense, like, as far as and it, I, and it I want to say it's like true because I've fucking like think about it. I've nobody's watching me, right? Nobody listens, but I know over time these things will change. So it's not even something that I think I would say there's anything different in that case as far as audience sizes go in each thing, right? There's big audiences in both. But if you just think about, I guess, the globe and the pyramid that is the reality that that you will exist in. Like, it's not like this is a new thing. It's not like this is a thing that they created, got rid of for some time, and now it's back. No, there's a pyramid. And the reality is a long time ago, when America was created, we picked freedom over equality. And people in America, as it stands in 2025, are not born with freedom. And as far as it being not equal is the case, we live, and I assume you gotta understand, like, you do not live in anything but the first world. And that kind of realization that these other worlds are out there, and if you don't travel, you won't experience these other worlds. But as far as getting firsthand experience, I think is valuable, by the way. Like, you should do that as much as you can. But as far as realizing that the advantage of perspective that you're coming from in this game, just being in America, is one thing. But as far as having a taste, I would say for you is the best way to say it to you. A taste for what the top of the pyramid looks like and what being at the top of the pyramid could feel like. And that, I think, is perspective. That, as far as is not, as far as it goes, these things are not just given at all. And as far as there being some type of deal with the devil that everybody has to make is not it's not the reality. The reality is, if somebody's betraying that, and that's their expression, that's their art, it's because they're probably not talking or thinking that what they're making is the best version of themselves, and not like trying to see the good in themselves at times. And there's reasons why people do this. Like, I could literally see myself doing some shit like this if I was in a shitty deal. You know what I mean? Like, if I have a fucking bad deal, I'm like, fuck the guy that fucking is gonna make the money from whatever project I'm releasing. Why would I put my deepest power of fucking God energy that I can create into something that somebody else is gonna profit from, like, fully? And I think that is something that hopefully gives you some type of enlightenment in a way to, the people that are before you, the people that are in front of you, why they're creating the things they're doing, and how these kind of characters realize one thing for sure. They realize that life is a live action role play. And if you are really good at acting and really talented at method acting, which there's a VOD on this that isn't out yet as far as the now, but as far as this being something that comes out in a couple days is the truth. But if you are exceptionally good at method acting, then that only helps you in the live action role play and helps you live action role play towards whichever kind of audience you see fit. And me, right now, since nobody's watching me and nobody gives a fuck about me, the only thing that I am method acting to is my story and me, and trying to create a base of you can consume this and get an idea of what this guy has seen and what this guy lives for, what this guy is, and what I care about in a way. And as far as these videos go, since nobody's watching, I'm live action role playing to you, trying to just give you my ideas and give you really anything that I know. Because as far as what I realize is, life's not always about the objective to go around and have a baby, right? Like, and reproduce your DNA. Like, you want to kind of see somebody even take the things you care about to another level. It's like the NASA rockets, right? Like, I think I'm shooting a spaceship off as far as all of my music goes. But as far as all my ideas go that went into creating it, and the perspectives I've consumed, what I've seen, and what I've gathered as far as intelligence goes, and what I know is also what helped create the rocket ship, right? And for your rocket ship, I want to see you go farther, bro. I want to see you take it to another level. And as far as you having to shelter yourself for the ability to talk to the burning bush, bro, it is what it is. And you have to talk to really, in a way, if you watch more of bro's videos, he talks about the fucking pineal gland, bro. He's talking about the third eye and shit. But let's be real, bro. As far as what these things mean to you, they're different than what they mean to me. And as far as the reality goes of, obviously, at times of the day, you'll watch me fucking sleeping for a bit, and then you can watch me come here and literally print a fucking song. Sometimes it takes me hours, in the sense like little bit here, little bit in this section, little bit in that section. But as far as slowly printing, just an idea of how to say what's on my mind, not a lot of people can do. And that's where I think we're going to get into a second topic of lawyers, though. We're kind of weaving around. But this book, I think, in a way, and again, you can chat GPT this shit and get probably everything you need. And everything you would, everything you want. You know, I didn't have chat GPT whenever I found out about this book. But as far as how, as far as this being the reality, or a good reality of perspective on, you know what we could do? I think this. I think what I'll do is just actually, can you give me the notable ideas and lessons in the book in a simple summary format? All right, let's see what it generates. But the book is called How to Win an Argument Every Time. And he is Gary Spence. That's his name. But as far as the book goes, let's see here. It does this fucking thinking thing now that I just kind of want to see the answer. But oh wow, there's 8 fucking things to go over here, I guess. Master the basics of logic and reasoning. And wait, first of all, I'll say this. The biggest takeaway is, I think, to understand though, like when you're in an argument, by the way, and like what you're arguing for. And if your argument is literally just some bullshit with your friends, you're wasting your energy, you're wasting your time. But as far as the perspective of the argument and breaking down the argument, I think happens so much as far as trying to work with others, you know, and trying to progress in life in a way you're, you know, constantly reasoning with people. And again, we are fucking like 180 and switching topic as far as God and devil shit goes, because again, I literally have no reason to debate with anybody about this shit, because I know they're just 99.99% of people that feed into the organizations are either they know the things that I'm saying you and they won't tell you them, or they're completely in a way brainwashed in some type of pyramid that they're not at the top of. Okay, so yeah, base your arguments on clear, logical steps. Duh, right? Like, understand these things. I think as far as, you know, you read in the book, and again, I give you the things that I think you should look into, and that I think you should know. And as far as doing my best to tell you maybe why and tell you actually what the thing is, I try to do. But as far as you going and figuring out these things on your own, I expect you to do throughout your life. And I think as far as you, whoever you are, being a winner, you can only, I think, learn from the perspectives that I share. And if you might have already heard about this shit, it is what it is. But as far as recognize and avoid logic, okay, what is this? Know your subject thoroughly. Understand your topic inside and out, being well prepared. And I guess in a way, a lot of these are, I guess, the argument. Keep emotions in check, maintain control and focus, listen and adapt during the argument. Okay, some fucking cringe ChatGPT fucking breakdown of what these things are. But I think the biggest thing to take away is that what lawyers are doing when they present a case is telling a story. And you, whoever you are, you're a storyteller at heart. And as far as rap goes, and the reason why I love hip hop, and the reason why I love music is because the biggest stories in the world, in my now, are politicians and artists, and not painting artists, like music artists. And because we all feel music. So that is, I think, why if you're able to convey the reality of your feeling through method acting into music, which I've trained my entire life to do. And these things are not easy at all. And it takes a lot of suffering and a lot of, in a way, a lot of leveling, bro. You got to go deep to get where I'm at right now. But as far as that goes, the best lawyers are really good at being in the courtroom and telling a story with emotion to like think about what the courtroom is. Like it's literally a jury at times. Most of the time, I'm pretty sure it is. Let's actually look that up. Is a courtroom most of the time a jury or judge? A courtroom is most of the time associated with a judge. Oh, wow. Okay. The jury only decides the fate of the case while... Oh, yeah, wait. Who decides more cases, judges or juries? Judges decide more cases than juries because most cases end in plea. Okay. When it gets serious, though, and everything's on the line, it's a jury, and you have 12 fucking whatever people in front of you that you have to convince. And you have to, like, play to them. It is a show. It's a theater event. And these people train really hard to get into high positions of what this is. And it's, to me, it's an incredibly impactful role, and it's a very respectable role that I think, as far as the things I know, the things I understand, I have nothing but respect for the people that win. The people that win cases and are able to convince through argument why and what events happened, why they happened, put emotion into it, and get people to agree with them. And again, I'm not... It sounds like I'm like fucking like riding out for lawyers right now, dead ass. But I definitely just respect the role, right? And as far as it goes, the highest levels of this are not some fucking deal with the devil other than the sacrifice you have to make to play at the top levels of these things. And that sacrifice is something that you will undoubtedly, in my mind, if I ever get anywhere, bro, it is because of sheer determination, will. It's a fucking remember the name song, right? Like, this is fucking 10% fucking whatever, man. But it's like 50% concentrated power of will. But like 50% concentrated power of will, 10% luck. Fucking, what does he say? 15% skill, whatever the fuck bro says. Facts. And there being high amounts of concentrated power of will, but the amount of time and real kind of could have been doing anything right now. Free. Remember that. Like, do not get it twisted. Do not get it twisted. And I think as far as all of this goes, the truth behind it is that I love this shit. I love whenever I make something and it's mine. And I realize the pain that I went through was so worth it. And I think that's what you'll experience. And I don't want you to get twisted in the idea that people are getting in front of you because they're making some kind of deal that you think is better than your deal. But your deal began and ends with free. And that, I think, is what makes not only the ability to have more unique sounds and music, but also more unique story. And at the end of the day, what the people over time appreciate is a really good story. And stories live on. Your popular sound on some TikTok page that has no story behind it, I'm sorry. We're gonna forget about it. It's dead in time. But powerful story lives on. And I know if I remain determined in my path, the lore that is digital dust that nobody could take away from me lives on. And as far as all of it being somebody who was and again, I'm not actually, like, it is what it is. It lives on. The music lives on, and people can interpret it however they want to be. How I interpret it as, I shouldn't even say. I shouldn't even try to explain. But as far as it being life to me, and I listen to it because I relate to the things I say and the feelings, and I think as far as on my phone there being just such a big catalog of it, there's no, and at times there's other choices, right? But as far as like most of the time, I'm not really listening to anybody that's my age or in my era, right? Like, unless I'm kind of in an environment where I'm like kind of forced to, in the sense of like it's just on loud speakers or something. So yeah, hopefully this perspective was enlightening in the sense of the devil talk and the path that you can choose. And you can play and live action role play to either side at either time. But the truth at the end of the day is that whatever side you're picking is either the peak good out of you or some type of version of yourself that is probably not playing to your best strengths and your best characteristics, is the way I see it. And hey, you could completely in your head on some schizo shit 180 these ideas and go full peak devil mode, bro. And as far as always ignore that word, God. But if you do that to yourself, the reality of what that truly does to your head at the most extreme levels of method acting is something that when you put it in frequency and you go far enough, you can't go back. And to know what I mean when I say that, I shouldn't even say what I'm about to say. The reality is, if you do that, you are guaranteed to have an incredible story, an incredibly unique one. But what kind of thoughts you will permanently live with will, I think, destroy you. And that destruction I want you to know is a risk I wasn't willing to take. And I realize, again, like, I'm method acting genius. Could play any role any time of the day. Could do any type of content, any genre, anything you think you are doing on this platform that's unique. I could play your role better than you. Like, fucking Science Channel. Give me a couple seconds on ChatGPT, I could remake your science video. I could do anything. I just choose to play the sport of telling my reality and telling my existence through sound. You understand? And to incorporate feelings and emotions to music is hard. And I think it's, as far as sport goes, it's an insane sport to play. And I want you to realize, though, the role that I think we're on the same level of discussing right now is something that people that play it don't always see a reason to fight anymore. And that kind of I don't know that I can't even say like I don't think that like because I don't know. I literally don't know what you are, bro. I don't know anything about you. So I will just leave it at that. And I just want you to, I guess, think about when you are creating your story, your narrative, or I guess plotting it over time. Not where you start, but where it goes to. You should kind of have an idea of. You should, and again, there's a video, and I'll tell you the title of it. But it'll come out in a couple of days, as far as it being one of my next episodes that isn't out yet, and it's the second right now. It might actually be the next one, or but it will be called The Tower 222 God. And I think as far as that race goes for you, will give you an idea of where you could see yourself evolving into. And that is something, as far as the game goes, I imagine being something that happens. And people take it to that extreme. Or people spawn in with the need to go to that extreme. And who knows? Maybe I go to that extreme. I'm the king of this shit, so I may as well. I may as well do this shit. No, I currently, in the state of mind that I'm in right now, I don't see a need to. But as far as taking, I don't know, if I was in different circumstances, and there's definitely, I don't know, there's people that if I was working with, I would probably take it to an extreme that's, I know if I did it to myself, I would have frequency that I know I would never be the same after I have it. And maybe I need that. Maybe I'll do that. Who knows? I don't know how my career goes, right? Like, this is all live, no editing, not one of your fucking typical you're I'm not even talking shit, bro. I'm not even talking shit. Just no editing. Remember that. Live for the entire year. Let's keep that in mind. Every second of 2025 has been on camera. Okay, maybe not every second. Sometimes I'm showering and shit. And, I just be doing that. But okay, this is actually about an hour, and I think that's perfect. Ending these talks at an hour before I start just talking in loops in a way, because I probably already said everything that I have to say. But yeah, I just want you to, again, hopefully gain from the perspective. And I will end this with a disclaimer. I am freestyling thought that can be taken out of context at any time and make me be portrayed as any which way somebody wants to be portrayed as. And I love that and hate that at the same time, because I don't know if that'll ever happen. But I want there to be complete recognition in the VOD that there is complete there is anybody who feels the need to ever dismantle what I'm saying has some reason themselves as to why they're dismantling what just some random guy is saying. And they have something to gain from it. And as far as them doing that and gaining whatever, I don't give a fuck. But as far as you go, and the one person watching this that really understands what I'm talking about and feels heard in a way and listened to at times when I'm speaking about things that they're possibly curious about and wanting to pursue, which again, very few people take this game to the most extreme levels of the game. Not every girl singing is the size of the superstars, or will be, or will have a career like that. And I'm not saying I will. It might end abruptly. I can't predict these things. But as far as me showing you and projecting the perspective of trying all the time and telling you the things that I know about story and how much I love this shit and storytelling, and especially storytelling through the microphone, is what I do because of the few that try to play the game at the highest level. And again, 99.99% of people probably don't make a single song their entire lives. Nowadays, let's say 90% of people don't, or let's say 75% of people don't at this point. It's so easy to make one. And 25% or 24.9999999% play in I can't say even that. %24.999% play. 75% don't play. 0.00001% win.